Welcome to Find the Right People for Your Network Marketing Business Without Leaving Your Home. This is an interview series, you all, that is put together to help you unlock the secrets to creating content that connects and converts. I'm your host, Sherelle Slace, and you are going to hear from many experts who will share their zone of genius with you. So this is your straight up resource for actionable advice and mindset that will set you up one step closer to finding the right people for your network marketing business, for any business that you have, okay? But I want to make a deal with you. I want you to take notes, and I want you to commit to taking at least one idea that you can put into action after you watch this video. You all, I'm excited to have my new friend. I'm going to call you my new friend as of the last, 8 months or so, who is here. She's also a colleague in the network marketing industry. She has a coaching business. You all, she's just a doll when it comes to online marketing. If you've seen her on the internets, as she just said, in the internet spaces, you'll see that she's doing all things TikTok and Pinterest and Facebook. I mean, she's just out there doing all kinds of fun things. She is a certified content marketing strategist. She has been in marketing and sales for 29 years and also in the coaching business as well. She has an MBA and she's business minded. All right. So I had her at our previous Find the Right People Summit, the last summit that we did. And we ran the survey from the audience of over 2,000 people that attended. And they were like, Tamira Hamilton, she was one of my favorites. I mean, she just brought it, just fact after fact after fact, knowledge after knowledge after knowledge. So I had to have her back, you all, because she specializes in helping others find their inner strength and leveraging it with proven and duplicatable systems to make money online. She uses blogs, she uses social media, she uses her all-around influence. And she is a servant leader. I do know that about her, and she's very well respected in the industry. So you all, I want to introduce you to Miss Tamira Hamilton. What's up, girl?
God, hey, I did not know that about the survey.
I didn't tell you?
I'm so humbled. You might have, but I don't know. Hearing it now, it feels like the first time, and that is huge because that's what it's all about. Like that to me is a measure of connectivity. Like I literally live and embody what I preach, and that when I hear that, that's what it says to me. And that means the world to me. So thank you, and thank you if you're watching this and you were at the last summit and you put that on the survey. You have no idea what that means to me. It literally means the entire world. It makes the late nights, all the dealing with technological issues, it makes it all so worth it to know that you connect with me in that way. Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, well, that's the servant leader in you to even give it back to everyone else. Like when you are constantly serving and giving, and you talk from a place of knowledge and experience, it means a lot. Like you're saying, when people come back and tell you what you're doing makes sense, it's helped me, thank you so much for sharing. So yeah, I can imagine that feels good to know that everything that you're doing and everything that you're sharing is making an impact on everyone that's listening. So I'm grateful to you for making the time to come back and share more about what you know. Now, last time, Tamira, we were talking about, and this is for all of you that are new, that are just meeting her for the first time. Last time we connected, we were talking about unlocking the secrets to online lead generation to find the right people for your business. And she was talking about Pinterest, she was talking about Facebook groups, and she was giving statistics as to why Pinterest and all that stuff. What we didn't talk about was the content that we create that allows us to connect. And so she did talk about that last time, so you might want to check that out, but she didn't this time. She's really talking about that content connecting and converting. So I want you to just go ahead and how should we get started today? Where do you want to start with this topic?
Oh my God, I gotta tell you, like if you're not posting with the intent to either first connect and then, take that relationship and deepen it and then convert, you're wasting your time posting. Like, I just have to put that out there. If you're throwing it up, you're spraying and praying, you really want to take a step back and really think about anytime you do a piece of content. And if you're a praying person, pray over the content, pray for divine guidance to direct you in not only what you should post, but what is the desired outcome of that post, right? So the reason why this is so important is often we see our top leaders in the industry and they can do things and it looks like magic. You know, I can post about something and people will be in the comments and say they want that. But what you don't see if you've just run across me, if you've just come across my content, is that it took several years to get there. Okay. Like, I had to do a lot of content posting daily in order to get to that point where people will meet me or have followed me for some time and say that they want to buy or they want to join a course or they want to join a challenge that I'm having. And so, you know me, I'm going to bring the statistics, right? And I've got 2011 data and it's now 10 years later. So I want you to think about how much information is made and put on the internet on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute basis, on a second basis. I don't have that exact figure for you, but it's a lot, right? And so based on 2011 data, the average person, and I might have mentioned this last time, when they're making a buying decision online, they're looking at 28 pieces of information. Okay. And that's 2011. I would have to say that's at least doubled, if not tripled, by 2021. Why? Because there's so much more data available, right? And the number one thing that's going to make you stand out from the next person is, are you relatable? Can people relate to you? Do they like you? Do they want to keep coming back and watching your content? Do they want to keep coming back and engaging with your content? Do they notice if you miss a day? Do they notice if you miss a week or 2 weeks? Do they notice? Do they reach out to you? Are they looking all over for you? And so you want to be creating content that connects. And there's all kinds of, you know, programs and apps out there. You do not have to get fancy with it, okay? You don't have to get fancy with it. It's the best content is just going to be you telling your story, you documenting your progress and where you are in your mindset, right? What you're thinking, what's going on in your head. So the days of posting what I would call a flat quote, just putting up a quote that's inspiring and sharing that, are really kind of over. Because that's so 2014. Like, what's that song? That's so 2008. You so 2000 and late, right? That's very 2014. And because it was new to us, I remember like, oh my God, I finding like a blog post that was like 30 inspirational quotes. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And tagging everybody and sharing it. Well, now there's quotes all over the internet, right? Everybody's seen the quotes. So how do you make it different? How do you make it connect in 2021? I see you nodding your head like, yeah, I want to know. How do I make it connect? You can, if you're going to share what I call the flat quote, which is just like a straight up quote image, blank background, any color with text on it. I want you to, in the caption, I want you to share what that quote means to you. Why are you sharing that? What does that quote do for you? How does it apply to a situation that you're dealing with right now? And that's what the algorithm is looking for as well. I'm not a big, you got to do all these things, bark like a dog, hop on one leg backwards in order to make the algorithm happy. My thing is, you are the algorithm. And this is how you become the algorithm, is you go, that's everything in life as far as success boils down to doing what the next person won't do. So where everybody else is just posting that flat quote, I want you to take that next step. And I want you to share, this quote means so much to me. Or, you know, there are certain quotes that got me through certain rough periods in my life. And, you know, one of them is the Teddy Roosevelt quote that Brene Brown shared on her power of vulnerability. So I post about that every so often and just talk about that, you know, what this quote means to me and how it helped get me through a really rough time. So you can do it that way. The other thing is reels and TikToks, right? There's audio, find the audio or create the audio. I don't have a really good audio voice, but other people do. So lip sync to someone else's audio of the quote, and and put a little caption on there. So like one I did recently was I love Nene Leakes from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know if you know.
Oh yeah.
She's a little ghetto fabulous, and I love Nene.
And you like Coming to America. I caught the reference a minute ago. I'll hop on one.
Yes.
By the way, the second one I thought was really good too.
I haven't seen it yet. I always say I think it's sound bites and quotes. And so like there's this audio of Nene Leakes where she's like, that is never gonna happen. It's a no for me. And I've told these people this 1,000 times. And my caption for the purpose of that of the post was when my caption was when my friends and family tell me I should get a real job, right? And so it matches to that audio, and other people in network marketing can now relate to that audio and to that sound, right? There was another one, I can't remember the audio that I used, but my caption was when I was called an educated fool for being a corporate dropout and starting my little makeup thing. So using the words that other people in the industry are hearing and matching it up with this audio. It's on my Instagram. I can't remember the audio right now, but that's how you bring your content to life. In 2021 and going forward, your content really needs to be 3 and 4 dimensional, okay? And that's how you bring it. That quote is now 3-dimensional because it's video of me lip syncing to the audience with the caption on there that brings my real life together with the quote.
Let me just jump in real quick because I want to give a real story, which you and I were talking about before we started recording. My daughter, everyone, who's 7 years old, was walking down the hallway and she heard a song that reminded her of Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. If you remember the TV show, all my kids are going through the series one more time. And so, or for the first time, they're going through it for the first time. I'm going through it one more time. So anyway, she's hearing the Carlton song, dun, 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 dun. You know, my voice is horrible. You know, I don't mean Chacho or whatever.
Apache. I think it's Apache from Grandmaster Flash. Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you. Yeah. And so my daughter hears this and she comes, and it's actually Tamira on TikTok. And she is, what were you promoting, a lipstick or
like I facts about me or something like that? Or yeah, either that or the one you're talking about might have been the 12 reasons to work with me. And I'm just pointing.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. Why you should work with her. And it was a TikTok video. I don't have TikTok. Maybe it was on Instagram or something that we saw it. I don't know, but, or maybe I do have TikTok. Who knows what my kids put on my apps on my phone. So anyway, it was playing and my daughter watched it. She came in the room and she watched her. And she watched it over and over and over again. She couldn't believe that I knew you when I told her. I was like, you know, that's mommy's friend. She's like, what? You know? And so, but the point of that is you were marketing your brand. You were telling reasons. You were telling the audience why they should work with you. But it was in a fun, upbeat way that we could relate to because we know the music. It was a funny part of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it's a great song, you know, all around. And you just made your content come alive. And so I just imagine, you know, what you're talking about right now. You're talking about strategies and ways that you make it fun so that you can be relatable to your audience. And I would imagine you're fun. I know you're fun because I watch your content. So you attract those people to you, I would assume.
Absolutely, absolutely, because people see it, they can relate. It's not about poaching people from other companies, but when you use it with the right hashtags, you're targeting certain people who are going to find it relatable they end up viewing the content and they give it a like, they engage with it, and many of them follow you. And the algorithm sets you up for them to see your content again in the future, especially when they do what your daughter just said. What you said your daughter did was watch it over and over and over again. And that's the magic of video. Like, I can't stress video enough for that reason, because video is residual. Like, we're all here for residual income, and video is residual. I get people in my inbox from videos I did in 2014 on YouTube. And so what a platform like TikTok and one like Instagram Reels, because remember, Instagram is at least 5-7 platforms in one, Reels being one of those platforms on Instagram. They're looking at, are people binging, hint, hint, like Netflix, are people binging on your content? Are you creating bingeable content that people are going to want to, either hop from platform to platform and find you, or that they're just sitting there and just like mesmerized watching over and over again? And they love that in particular because it keeps them on their platform and not off of their platform, like going on their platform and leaving. So it's more effective than your link. All right. It's more effective because they just sit there and they're just like, oh my God, how did she do that? And one of the big things is looping your video so you can't tell where it ends or begins. And it just goes over and over and over again. And that's where you get those massive views. We can't take views to the bank. Okay. But enough views, you can start to begin to predict, quote unquote, conversions. And that's why it's super important to know what is the outcome from this piece of content. And often, because I remember with over 20 years of sales and marketing experience and coming from a corporate position where it was all about, you needed your numbers because there were quarterly stockholder meetings, right? And you needed your numbers, right? And that's what your annual bonus depended on. I was looking for, I need to close these people today, right now. And that's wrong. Don't do that. Don't be like I was, going immediately for every post is a conversion. No, if in the beginning, you need to do a lot of connecting activity. So that's your quotes, right? That's your, get to know me posts, like the one you said, your daughter, where I'm there's another one that's similar to that, but I'm pointing and I'm like, my age is 40. So they're like, what's your age? What's your sign? And so I'm pointing, and then that's where the little captions are. And at the end it says, how about you? That's your connecting activity. Being vulnerable. If you feel you've got to be winning, driving Lambos on stage, at the top of the league in the beginning, I need you to purge yourself of that, okay? Because the average person cannot relate to that. They cannot relate to the Lambos, right? They can relate to going to Vegas and maybe being able to spend a month's mortgage to rent one for a couple of hours, but they can't relate to that, right? What they relate to is, I started this business because I just needed $700 extra a month in order to be able to pay for daycare for my second child, right? They can relate to that. And that is your advantage. That is your superpower, is that you're still very much relatable to the average everyday person and their struggles. And so you want to create content about that. Like, we're doing this interview and beforehand, you yelling out to the kids, hey, I'm going to be doing an interview with Miss Tamira. I need you guys to not run up and down the hallway. But I loved when we first started, you could kind of see them in the French doors. You could see them in the background. That's the reality of working from home. And you don't want to be embarrassed of that. You don't want to hide that. Your dogs, I've been on Zooms with people or in webinars where they're like, I'm sorry, my dog is just having a conniption right now. But that's the reality. And does it mean that you're not going to get that one bozo in your comments that has something negative to say about it? No, you're still going to get that. But that's not your people. And that's where it goes back to the first training we did on your ideal client avatar. Who's your ideal client? They're going to love you despite that, and not even despite that, because of that. because it gives them permission. It opens the door for them to do the same thing. And it's what's lacking in corporate. They don't necessarily have that type of environment in corporate. And so you're opening them to this new world where it's like, oh, okay, I found my people. I'm finding where I belong. And that's what you want to share. You look like you were gonna say something.
Yeah, so total sidebar, you mentioned a fear that a lot of people have, the result of a fear, which is the bozo getting on your timeline and saying something that's discouraging to people. What do you do with those people? Because I think that's the fear, that I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to look stupid. I'm going to look crazy. My friends and family are going to laugh. I'm scared to share. So two things I want you to talk about. I want you to talk about the person and his or her fear of not posting, which is what's holding them back. But also, when they do overcome the fear and they start posting, when the bozo comes in and their fear is being realized, how do you handle that person?
Okay, so the first part, speaking to the person, I was that person, right? And I'm sure you probably were as well at one point, right? Because I came into it very gung-ho, and then hearing the things like that, your little makeup thing, oh, how's your little makeup thing doing? You know, which is really like a polite, jab. Being called, literally, I was called an educated fool to my face, and I know for a fact behind my back.
An educated fool?
Yeah, an educated fool. Okay. My mom, I'll be glad when you find yourself, right? Well, 10 years later, I still finding myself. Okay. So I was that person, but I had too much to lose by succumbing to that and letting them win. For me, it was a mental game. I could not let them win. I had to prove that I was right. And then once I proved that I was right, it became more of being that influence and inspiration to the person who had felt what I was feeling. And I would sit in conventions and on meetings, and I would see this focus on, oh, 6-figure earner, $100,000 in a 4-week period. Sorry about that. $45,000 in a 4-week period. And it's like, that's all great. And everybody aspires to be there. And I heard someone say this, and it connected with me. It was like, yeah, but everybody has to first get that $300 check. Everybody had to get that $300 check on the way to the $45,000, to the $100,000. And so it became my mission to find those people who needed the $300 a month. $300 a month that would give them the ability to go, right? Because I was a single mom, and I know, and I made good money. I was educated. You went through all my stuff, but $300 would have made a world of a difference, right? And so what that took me to was kind of what we talked about last time. Who is it that I serve, right? And so I serve those people looking for $300. Now I'm going to end up coming across somebody who's going to be the person that goes for that $45,000, for that $100,000 a month. They're going to show up. They're going to be in the shuffle, but a lot of them actually start off needing $300 a month, right?
Yeah.
So by appealing to and trying to connect with them on a real way, like when I have my grandchildren, I go live as much as possible to show that you can do this and have little babies at home, have little babies with you, and you can fit it into the pockets of your life. So really getting into the mindset of who it is that you serve, because here's the byproduct, the side effect, right? I'm giving you a prescription, right? Every prescription comes with side effects. They have to legally tell you. So let me tell you the side effect of knowing who it is that you serve. You don't stress about the ones that you don't serve. They become irrelevant. You don't care about them because you're so tuned in, tapped in, and focused on who it is that you serve. The people, immediately when you don't serve them. They throw up the signals. They tell you right away with their mouth, with their words, their body language, their actions, I don't serve you. And that's okay. I love you where you're at, but I'm not concerned with you. I'm concerned with these people over here that I serve. That's the byproduct.
Yeah, that's your answer then. That's your answer to what to do with Bozo, is that you become so uber focused on the people that you are serving. And your experience was you became uber focused on proving those naysayers wrong, that you just kept drilling your attraction method, which is strategy, knowing what your outcome is every time you put out a post, bringing in the people that you want to serve, staying uber focused on them. And Bozo the clown, you don't even realize it. He comments, says something stupid, and you're like, you barely even saw the post or saw his comment.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and his post doesn't allow me to shut down. It doesn't cause me to shut down. It's like, oh, he just doesn't get it. He's not my people.
Yeah.
He's not my people. I put him in a little bucket, put a little bow on it, wrap it up real tight, and set it off to the side.
Yeah, it becomes funny. You know, you're just like, oh, look at that.
Yeah,
so
look for a little tink.
Bozo the clown. Telling me what I'm doing doesn't work.
Right.
You know, I never really had anyone outwardly say to me like that little network marketing thing. But what I have had, which hurts equally, is complete lack of acknowledgement of my pursuit in the industry, where no one ever, you know, no friends or family even ask me about what it is that I'm doing. And even as I'm having success, just know, hey, how's your business? Or how's your network marketing business? Are you still, you know, excelling? I saw you got an award. Like, no one acknowledges it.
Right. They don't legitimize it. They refuse to acknowledge it, because then that means it's legitimate. And that,
Right.
yeah.
Those are Bozo the clowns too. It's funny.
So, I have a friend who always, her husband always, oh, is Tamira still doing that pyramid thing? Like,
oh, she says that.
her husband, I'm like, well, that's a pyramid. And I just come back with, so it's your job.
Oh, I just say, yeah, I do. I still do it. You know, my roofer, I had a roofer that came over this week. We're getting a roof replaced, and it was weird. It was like full circle. I actually sat down with him and shared my business opportunity about 8 years ago. We did the math, and I hadn't seen him in 8 years. And I was like, you look really familiar. I'm not sure how, you know, where, you know, and he said, remember you sat down with me and you shared with me the network marketing opportunity. I was like, oh yeah. He said, but that was years ago, so I'm sure you've moved on. And I was like, no. I said, quite the opposite, my friend. I said, no, I like dug in even deeper, and I was like, you know what? I said, it's the middle, and this is what I said to him exactly. I said, it's the middle of the day and I'm home. I said, when I was presenting that to you, I was still working a corporate job, but now I'm home. I have that residual income that I was telling you about. It's really real.
I love it.
I said, now I make a 6-figure residual income, and I'm getting my roof done, and with that money, you know. But it was so funny. We were, and he was like, oh. Yeah. Let Bozo be Bozo.
Still clowning, and I'm gonna keep succeeding. How about that?
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. So funny. Okay, so what are we talking about?
Well, the topic is, we're talking about, you know, content that converts and connects. And if you spend the majority of your time connecting, the conversions are going to begin to happen naturally. And then you're going to get to a point where you need more conversions. And so you just, you know, a lot of people like to tell you, spend 80% of your time, you know, connecting, engaging, and then 10 to 20% of your time conversions, right? So they'll tell you, if you do, take Instagram, for example, if everybody focuses on the little cube, the 9 grid 3x3, so out of 9 posts, maybe 2 of them should have a strong call to action. And here's what I'm going to tell you. You can do a call to action every single post if you follow the game show format, if you follow the TV talk show format, okay? You can, and the TV talk show format is 80% connecting, 10% conversion, right? So if every single piece of content has in the caption, or the bulk of the content is connecting, you can still slide that call to action on the end. You still can slide it on the end. Am I making sense?
To me, yeah.
So I'm going to give you an example. Like the Oprah show was huge when I was like in middle school, right? And so Oprah would bring on Tom Cruise, she would bring on Maya Angelou, and they would just, John Travolta, and they would have this amazing talk and just dote on each other and love on each other. And the very last few commercials, the very last segment of Oprah was Guest of the Oprah Show stay at the Omni Hotel in Chicago. And
that's right, they sure did.
Airline.
That's the Marriott, yep. They sure did.
Yeah, and so you just follow that format, right? So I just showed you.
So interesting. It's so interesting you said that, because that was like, that's ingrained in my head. It's quick as you said Omni, and I just said Marriott, because they had a call to action after every.
Yeah, and it was the same at the end of every game show. Game show when we were growing up, promotional something expense paid by, and then they would list out all the promoters.
It was perfectly fine.
Yeah, and it was perfectly fine, because we just got 20 minutes with commercials in between, by the way. And each one of the commercials had a call to action, 3 to 4 segments, and so you can structure your live videos the same way, because we as world citizens, really not just the United States, we've been programmed by TV for all these years to have a segment, a commercial, a segment, a commercial, and then your closing credits with your promotional credits, the people who paid to promote, right? One of the things I'm working on developmentally, because I'm transparent, is I'm really good with the retailing content. And now I'm making sure that every time I go live, every time I talk about retail, I also make sure to mention the opportunity. Right? To just bring it together, And another way that you can save is by being a partner. No, it's not for everyone, but if you just want to learn the facts and learn it from the inside, hit me up and I'll give you the information.
Yeah, but and to work closer with me, you could even say that.
Yeah, exactly. To work with me, yeah. I use that one a lot. And so, again, another example, if I'm doing a tutorial and I'm showing you, because I literally did this for this, I was like, I know everybody swears I filter, because you might see a picture of me and my face looks more pudgy. And then you might see one where it's more, in the colloquialism, snatched. And I'm going to show you how I snatch it. And at the end of that video, if you're interested in any of these products that you've seen me use, and if you have a regular viewing audience, they will ask, and and they will even tell people where to go get it for you. But you're providing value. If you are always leading with value, you can make a call to action as often as you want to. Don't feel like it has to only be 2 out of 9. Okay. In the beginning, you probably don't want to, like your first, few, you don't want to like right out of the gate do it, but I don't see why not. That's what a TV show does.
Yeah. That was a really good analogy. And you're absolutely right. We are programmed to be sold to. We want to be sold to, just give us some value, make certain that we trust you, be honest and transparent so we can see that you're just like us, and then sell to me. I mean, that's really what it is. We want to be buyers.
Love it. Yeah. We totally programmed our entire life.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Oh my gosh, Tamira, we can keep talking. I really want to keep talking, but we're running out of time. Oh, I know. Guys, I know you enjoyed what you heard. And I want you to tell everyone how they can find you. How can they find you?
You can find me. I'm spending a lot of time these days on Instagram. And over on Instagram, you know, if you do Instagram.com/haute chocolat, HAUTECHUCHUCOLATT, like haute, like haute couture, chalk, like CHAUCO, latte. That was it started out as a joke. The latte on the end, like a latte on the end, you know, and I always say it depends on, you know, how many mimosas I've had. It's either haute chocolat or hot chocolate. So it's a double entendre. It was intentional. So you can find me over there. You can always visit if that is way too much to remember, you know, trying to spell all that, just go to tamirahamilton.com. Okay. In fact, I have a freebie over there for you. You can download the profiles secrets PDF, and it's going to give you all of my top secrets, all the secrets that the top earners use to leverage their Facebook profile to turn strangers into followers, into leads, into customers, into team members.
Awesome. Is that the free gift that you're giving all of the summit viewers as well too? Okay, perfect. We'll have that at the right below you guys. You can go ahead and just tap the link and grab that. We'll also provide the links to Tamira's social posts so that you can stay in touch with her and continue learning from her. So I encourage you to download her free offer and also to stay in touch with her so you can continue to learn from her. She is a giver of statistics. You didn't do as much today, but last time I was like, dang, she's like really breaking it down.
Because I did last time, and you told them they can go back and watch that. And I really wanted to spend time connecting. I want people to understand the power of connection and just being you. There's a new girl on my team. And I remember I joined a group, and when I join a group, I always like to drop in one of my best selfies and something about me as it relates to the group, right? And make a post. And it was a wine group. And I was like, yeah, thanks to wine and Trader Joe's, I was a single mom and raised 2 daughters through the teen years, and nobody wound up dead or in jail. And the comments that people left were like, oh my God, that's so pure. That's so pure. And I'm kind of like, what? And they're like, yeah, it's kind of pure. It's kind of innocent. It's like true. It's vulnerable. It's real, authentic. And that's what the word that comes to mind when I think about this new girl on my team. With her content, she'll do a video and she'll like, I've got the sheet right here. I'm reading from the sheet because I'm new and I don't know what I'm doing. And she'll, you know, be like, oh my God, you hear my son in the background?
No, I can't. I was gonna say,
yeah. She'll like, you hear my son in the background? He's like making himself echo with the little machine thing that they use to hear. I haven't had a kid in 23 years. The little, whatever that little monitor, the monitor. He's making himself echo with the monitor. He's doing it on purpose. But if you didn't know us, you'd think he was being killed. So she's so pure. And that's just bring you, just show up and be you. And I'm not going to lie to you. People are going to love you for it and people are going to hate you for it. But here's the thing about the ones that hate you for it. They're going to still keep showing up anyway, just to hate you and watch you. And that's okay, because they're helping you. They're helping you. They're helping you pay the bills. Okay. Just remember that.
And they secretly admire you. That's why they keep coming back. They're just, they want to know more and more.
Exactly.
And more. Oh my gosh. Bozos.
I love you. Yes.
Keep clowning. Keep clowning. Thank you so much, Tamira. This is awesome, 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 awesome. Thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing. And hey, this is, it's just so I'll tell you later. I was gonna say we're doing it again, and I can see you coming back and talking even more to this audience. You always have so much to share. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you again next time.
I can't wait.
Awesome.